What's up, everyone? Welcome. Sorry I haven't been on lately. It's been crazy. Been a while. Been a week, actually, since I've been on. Good evening. Good to see everyone. I notice I have the band hammer right behind me. You see it right back there? Right to where is it? Right there. That's the band hammer. Probably needs to be closer. Good to see everyone. Probably celebrating the million. It's really been interesting. Let me move this out of the way so I don't back into it accidentally. Not that I'm going to, but it's been interesting to go back and look at some of my early videos, which I've been doing. I archived everything that I've done in the cloud, and I have them. So I've been going back through and just looking at some old videos, and my God, I did so many weird, horribly edited videos at the beginning. Thank you for sticking. Thank you for sticking with me. It's I can see the I can see where I used to fall asleep. So I get done with a session. Typically, the bands would leave about 8 o'clock or so. And I would start on videos. This is in the first year of my channel. So I would break out the recording gear, the video recording gear, which was my iPhone at the time. I didn't have I did not have a I had a DSLR, but honestly, I couldn't get the energy together to bring it out and set it up, because that would have meant that I would have had to bring lights in the control room. It was an iPhone 6 I started with, I think. iPhone 6. Maybe iPhone 5. No, iPhone 6. So those, I would never set up lights. So whatever lights I had on was all I had. And it was very grainy, kind of like this is grainy right now. I'm going to get a proper streaming thing here with my DSLR. So I mean, it's unbelievable how grainy some of these old videos are. And I mean, they don't really get any views. I'm looking at them. I looked at one on polychords tonight, and it has the edits in the weirdest spots. And I just remember going like that and falling asleep while I was editing this stuff on my laptop. I'd sit in the chair in the studio after I'd shoot it, and they were bright too. Yeah, I mean, they had all this distortion in them from not being lit well enough. And although my first videos were really looked good, my very first videos, because I used a DSLR on probably the first 10 videos or so. But then I got into a project, and then so I could only make content that I at the end of the night, and it was really hard to do that. And I was making a video almost every night. So any of you that saw the Angie video, Shane that sang, he's the guy that got me to do this, to really keep uploading. He just said, just keep uploading. And I didn't say this because we joke about this. So Shane had 6,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, probably still does, 3 years ago. And he had a video of a song that we did together that I produced. Shane's a country singer, and one of his videos had almost 800,000 views. And I thought, oh man, I'll never get a video with 800,000 views. And he, so I thought, oh, I'm never going to get 6,000 subscribers either. And it took forever to catch up to Shane. I remember when I passed him, he said, "See, I told you you're going to pass me." I said, "Man, I can't believe it." It was the fall of. I started in June, and it was the fall because I had a screenshot I put on my Instagram of a video in 2016 in the fall, and I had 7,200 subscribers at the time. So I went through this period, though, where I shot with my phone, and then I would do the videos, and then Shane gave me some lights. I bought a couple lights. I had a couple lights, and Shane gave me 2 more lights that he wasn't using anymore. Two more soft boxes, I guess you call them. So I had 4 of them, and I didn't understand about hair lighting, backlighting, anything like that. But I would use my DSLR on my stories that I would tell, and the stories were the things that I think helped. I don't want to say propel my channel, but when I talked about my 24-year overnight success or talked about not getting into college for music, those stories that I would sit and just directly talk to the camera like this. Those stories I would light with 2 lights on me, and I would move into the middle of the live room, and you could see the glow of the 2 lights in the back. They're still there. I've never changed those light bulbs. It's pretty funny there. And those, to me, they looked really good on those videos. And that was I think the template for how I wanted my videos to look was that. And then I started, and then Aaron came and started working for me. And when he was here every day, he would do some editing. He'd look stuff up. I mean, he didn't know how to edit things, but he would just look up on YouTube. And he started showing me things like keyframing and he started making presets for me and really helped me push my editing, and said, don't just use your iPhone to do these things. Take the time to film them and watch your videos before you put them out. That was the thing, is like I would put videos out and without watching them. I do it late at night. I remember Amy Nolte. I know you guys know Amy Nolte, or a lot of you must know Amy. Amy and I have been friends since before YouTube, but we started on YouTube around the same time. And Amy called me one day. She texted me in the morning. She goes, "Rick, you have a big mistake in one of your videos." I said, "What is it?" She said, "You're talking about some chord progression is the wrong chords. You look like you're asleep, and you seem like you're really out of it. Did you watch your video?" So I went and I looked at it. I said, "Oh man." And I pulled it down and I went in, and I just had left some footage that wasn't related to the thing I was doing in there, and I never even realized that I didn't take it out. There was one of them that I left in. I disappeared, Martin. You're right. I disappeared for a second. It's stuff like that. I disappeared, and I just wouldn't fix the edits, or I'd walk in the middle of a thing and forgot to, just from not watching it down. And I would have all these mistakes in them. So then I started, when Aaron got here, I stopped having mistakes in my videos. Proofread and watch before you put it out. I still don't watch as much as most people do. But I always, if I keep watching it, I'll keep changing stuff. That's the problem. So many times, so now I have Billy working for me. I'll say, Billy, watch it down. If there's no glaring mistakes, that's cool. Then we're good. But I've got plenty of things up there. But they don't get any views, any of those old videos. But the content on some of them is, I think the content on most of them is very good. I mean, I don't mean that egotistically. I just think it's the things I'm talking about. I'd be curious to see how some of these would do. There's a lot of sophisticated concepts that I talked about early on in the channel that I built my channel on. So, but I'm going to get back and make some of those. I'm going to redo some of those videos, and I can make them much more compelling. That's kind of that's one of the goals of this next, now that we're past, Deb, you like those heavier concept videos. Now that we're past the 1 million mark, I can kind of lay back and make some of the kind of content that I want to make. I'm very driven by goals. I mean, we all are. I know, but I'm especially hyper driven by goals. And getting to 1 million. That last 100,000 was in 29 days. So that was a sprint to the end. I had another milestone yesterday, which was 100 million views on my channel. So I have had 100 million views on my main channel. It's hard to contemplate. It's really hard to contemplate. Subi, my earlier subs like that stuff. Well, my earlier subs are going to like that because I'm going to go back and do and redo it, and redo some of these things properly. Let's see here. As big as the Beatles. Did I get my play button? No, they're usually really slow on that. They're when I got the play button, the first for the 100,000, I want to say I got it right when I hit 200,000 is when they sent it to me, like 6 months later. I had to email them again and say, hey, are you guys going to send me my play button? And then they sent it to me. But I just thought it was funny that they were so slow at doing it. Where's the play button? It's in the studio down the hall. So, Music from Mixed Room says, like the format of you and friends re-recording the tracks for songs. The reason that I did that was I didn't know if it was going to get blocked or not. I did not know about that. So I didn't want to take the chance. I wanted to use as much of the, I wanted to use the actual song, but try not to rely on it completely. Martin asked me, will they send me something for 1 million? Yes, you get a gold play button for 1 million. So there are 3 levels of YouTube. There's 100,000, which is the silver play button. The 1 million, I mean, that's a big jump, right? 100,000 to 1 million. That is a gold play button. And then the 10 million is a diamond play button. So it'd be hard to get to 10 million, but you never know. I didn't think I was going to get to 1 million in a month. We were all projecting, people on here even, we were all projecting October, November, and it happened in the middle of August. Video on pre-post processing and gates, reverb, delay, multi-effects at some point, focusing on iconic sounds. Okay. Will I do videos and guitar lessons specifically? I don't. I've done videos on guitar stuff. Yeah, some recently even. Double K says, where does this rank on my all-time list of music-related accomplishments? This is my biggest music-related accomplishment, for sure. No question about it. Not having a platinum record as a producer, not having a number one song, because those were all collaborations with people. That wasn't, something that that I did on my own. Oh, my Lydian Sharp 5 video disappeared from Instagram because I realized when I went back and listened to it, it was completely distorted. I don't know what happened, so I took it down. It was actually, I think, hurting people's ears. I must have bumped the fader or something. Anyways. Dean, you're a classic non-finisher procrastinator. For the 1 million subscribers, you should have done the Dr. Evil pinky in the picture. That's funny. My older videos really digging how to play in the style of Montgomery Matheny are so great. Yeah, I did videos about stuff like that. I did. More videos on polyrhythms. I did videos on polyrhythms. Martin, that is, I had a impact on my teaching. Yeah, I mean the I'm reading another comment here about the Advancing Guitarist, Mick Goodrick's book, which I did a lot of proofreading on. I mentioned that, I think, in some of the comments, but Mick was my guitar teacher during grad school. Guitar teacher, Mick and I hung out during guitar lessons and played, but his book is really it's a great book. It's hard to get through, I think, for most people because of the layout of it. He's got some really interesting things in the intro where he talks about guitar. And Mick is a fascinating guy. He talked about the average note on the guitar is found in 2.8 places. This is why this is why it's hard to read on the guitar, because you can play the same note. If I play the note C, right? I mean, I can't play the high C and the low E string, but wait, I can. So it's here. That C is the same as that C, as that C is that C is that C. So that same note is found in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots on the guitar. It's way out of tune there, but that's why it's difficult to read on the guitar. So the average note's found 2.8 places. That always stuck with me. But that's something that Mick talks about. Mick has a lot of esoteric, interesting philosophies that I really enjoyed. I tried to make my book a book that is gets right down to the nuts and bolts. Okay, I should get Dylan to memorize all million subscribers and recite them as fast as he can. Please shed light on Pat Martino's Linear Expressions book. I have that book. Let's see here, Tom. New room looks amazing. Love the look of the Rolling Stones video. Okay, so I appreciate that, Tom. When I did the split screen with Shane, so the first part of the video I shot 2 days before, where I'm playing with the piano player, Jez. Okay, so I didn't know what I wanted to do for the video, and I talked to Jez 8 months ago about doing Angie. So I called him up. I said, hey, Jez, can you come in today? And he says, well, I have a session because Jez plays with Puddles the Clown. I don't know if any of you know Puddles the Clown. He's a YouTuber, and he lives here, and we're friends. And was doing a video with him. He goes, well, I called him up at 9 a.m. He says, well, I have a session with Puddles at 11, but I can come in before then. And I said, I said, when can you be here? And he says, I'll be there in 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay. So I'm rushing around, the clown with a golden voice, exactly. So I'm rushing around setting up stuff in the studio. And so Puddles and I are going to do a video together. We are going to do a video together. We just have to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to do a cover song together. So he comes in, he brings his music, puts it down. I said, look, we only had time to just play the intro through we couldn't even get through the whole song. So we did the intro through the first pre-chorus. I said, okay, great. I said, just talk about Nicky Hopkins for a second. So he did, and I was like, okay, great. And then he took off and he went and made the video with Puddles. So so then I came back the next day and I was like, okay, or 2 days later, I said, I got to finish the Angie video. So I talked to Les. He called me and we're talking in the morning, and I said, I want to finish this Angie video. And I said, I want to play the guitar. I can't play the piano and the guitar together. And he goes, oh, I'll come over and I'll do it. I'll do the piano part. I said, do you know it? He goes, well, I'll listen to it on the way over. I'll learn it. So I said, okay, great. So Les comes over. Les lives about an hour away, and Shane lives an hour away. So then I said, so then I talked to Shane. Les said, I'll be over there. I'll be over there in a little while. So then I talked to Shane, and I said, Shane, you want to come over and sing on this? So he said, yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. And Shane lives an hour away. Shane gets here first, and he's like, what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to sing over the intro and the first pre-chorus. So I set up the camera in here, and then I put the two videos together. So Shane sang on the thing that we recorded the day before, and I just videoed. He did one pass. I videoed him here. So I'm responding to your comment, Tom. So I put the two things together, the two videos together, and I noticed that the paint, even though this was not, I matched the colors with a color thing. What do they call that? Swatch, color swatch. I matched the colors between the two rooms, and they looked. I mean, the other one is eggshell. This is flat paint here. Oh, Shane's last name is Lee. Shane Lee. So I put the two videos next to each other, and they looked, and they worked great together. So this is why finishing this room has has been really. I've already taken advantage of the fact that I have my studio back without, because I had all my editing gear, the computer and everything was right in the middle of the live room. I didn't like having it in the control room because the control room's too dry, I think, for videos. I don't know. I like to have a little bit of a room sound. I think it sounds more natural. Maybe there's too much room sound in here, but so hold on one second here. Pliny just had me in his story. How do you feel that your how does it feel that your process was examined by Rick Beato? Super cool. Rick is a legendary and lovely guy. That's great. That's examined. Puddles, yes, Puddles has over 500,000 subscribers. We the first time I met him, and I've known about him, he's been in town forever here, and we went and had coffee at this Starbucks up the road, and we were talking about YouTube. It's funny that we both, I think we both had about the same amount of subscribers at the time. He's 6'8", yeah. He's 6'8". He's gonna come over with his, and my kids want to meet him really badly. I've shown him his videos. He's like, "Oh, can you get Puddles to come over?" The girls really, really want to meet him. So he says, "Yeah, I'll come over, totally." What a great singer too. Oh man, so good. Let's see here. I want to get the Spider. I want to get the Nicky Hopkins. I want to get the Nicky Hopkins documentary. I definitely do, or not documentary, but bio, and read it. It'd be really interesting. Can I talk about negative harmony, its impact using different key signatures, display different types of emotions? Negative harmony doesn't. Negative harmony is negative harmony is just one concept. It's not anything that's DJ Green Arrow, what's up? It's not anything that is some magical formula or anything like that. It's like it's just another way to organize. It's another just concept. It's not this. I have a video on negative harmony. It's called Musical Palindromes and Negative Harmony. You should check it out. I explain it. It's pretty basic. Let's see. What neck shape do I prefer? V or C? It doesn't matter. Do I ever create a vision board to say that makes me laugh? I don't know what a vision board is, David. I honestly don't. Let's see. Maybe people forgot them, but they were, oh man, let's see. Rick, you recorded a friend of yours years ago. Found a copy of the drafts buried in an old hard drive. Do I remember Marion Dean Patterson? Of course. He's, Dean is up in State College. I haven't talked to him in a long time. What's Puddles' YouTube? It's Puddles Pity Party. Is that what it is? Puddles? Something. It was just in here. Somebody. Just type in Puddles the Clown. You'll find it. Puddles Pity Party. Right. What do I think of Suzuki method for teaching kids? I studied Suzuki. I'm actually have my degree in Suzuki strings, so I was a disciple of that, but that was a long time ago, and I never really used it in teaching. But I think it's very good. Would I say perfect pitch is more of a curse than a blessing in daily life? I would say it's great, unless things that are out of tune bother you. Can I add more fusion concepts in line building? I absolutely am going to do that. That's the kind of stuff I'm going to get back to. Ben Eller is pretty cool. I love Ben, Uncle Ben, as he calls himself on Twitter or on Instagram. He's hilarious. We are friends, and he's a great guy. What camera I'm using for what makes a song great? I have a Sony A7 IIs. And I'm really, really happy with it, except for the autofocus is not great on it in 4K. That's the only... You guys have noticed that I've had problems with the autofocus, which I stopped doing. So now Billy's helping focus the videos. It's funny because Billy doesn't know about photography or anything. Neither do I. But when Rhett comes over to do the videos with Dave, I watch on the monitor, and Rhett just does the focus so fast. He's so good with a camera, and he just has that eagle eye. He goes shh, and it's whoa. That's perfectly in focus. And sometimes Billy and I'll shoot something. We're both thinking, I think that's in focus, and I don't have my glasses on, and then I'll import it, and it's completely out of focus. So, let's see here. Any tips for getting out of a rut using the same instrumentation and arrangements? Don't do it. Don't do it. Lighting and recent visit. Thank you, Jason. Has been good. I got a second light, a second really high quality light, this kind right here. If you guys can see this is it's a light called by Aperture, I think it's called. Rhett told me to buy it. He saw it on a photography channel of Peter McKinnon, I think it was. And I just went down in the comments section, and I think it was Peter McKinnon that was demonstrating it about lighting. So I bought it, and then this doesn't fit through the doorway going into the studio, and I don't want to have to keep collapsing it, so I bought a second one. So we don't have to wheel these around, and it's and it makes doing the video way faster. When I was doing the shots in between the two rooms, it was so much better. What's my personal opinion on Elton John? Have I ever met him? I have met him. I have absolutely met him, and I will do a video of his because I'm a massively big fan. He lives in Atlanta. And I met him in 2004. He walked into a session I did. I've told this story on here, but he walked into a session. His assistant walked in and said, "Are you guys Jump Little Children?" Yeah, Elton John has lived in Atlanta for 25 years, probably, something like that. So his assistant came in. I was in the control room that didn't have a window out to the live room. So Elton John comes walking. So I'm in the control room. Elton John's assistant comes in, talks to the band. I can't hear any of this. I'm talking to the band and the talk band. I'm like, "What's up, guys? Where are you? Is anybody there?" And then all of a sudden, Elton John walks in, and and he said, "I love your last record. I'm a huge fan of this band I was getting ready to produce." Our first day of recording, Elton was in. We were at Tree Sound. That's where my studio used to be. Tree Sound is it's about 30 minutes from here. So so I don't realize that he's actually in the room. This is in 2004. This is how long ago this was. 2000 beginning of 2004. So I'm saying, where are you guys? Where are you guys? What's going on? So finally I start walking out to go. It's like 100 feet. A couple of rooms. There were 2 live rooms, then there's this place, the Cave. It's a long way away. It's it's like a 2-minute walk. I'll ignore Cass's joke there. Totally not cool. One more, Cass. So the band comes in. They said, Elton John just walked in. I said, what? What are you talking about? He just walked in. His assistant came in, and then Elton came in and asked us if we were Jump Little Children. And he says, they said, yeah. And he goes, okay. And then Elton walked in. I said, well, what did he say? He said, he's a huge fan of our band. He heard we were recording here. And when we're done today, we can go and meet with him. Bernie Taupin was there, and his band was there. We can go hang out with them. Mary's asking about, is there a book I would remember as a precursor to yours? My book is to be used, Mary, with the videos to understand. You'll start understanding more of it because it actually starts right at the beginning. There is no precursor to the. I start with how to name intervals. That's pretty much the beginning of any music theory text is going to teach you that. So Elton, and I don't mean to be flippant about that. That's it's a music theory and improvisation book, and it starts out by how to build chords and how to build scales. You'll try harder. I've done some videos that tie together a lot of the early concepts lately, too, in some of my live streams, so you should check those out for sure. So we finish our session early at 8 o'clock or so, and we call over to the other room, and they said, yeah, come on over. And that does explain why he's on a Collective Soul track, because he's friends with Ed from Collective Soul. So we go in, and I meet Elton, and he said, pleasure to meet you. And I met Bernie Taupin and the whole band. A lot of the guys were people from the guys from the 70s, and it was unbelievable. So we ended up talking, and Elton knew everything about every current band. It was during the nu metal era, and he was just so knowledgeable. Well, when I first moved to town, I don't think Elton is a blocker. I don't know. I will find out soon, though. So when I first moved to town here, I didn't have any money. I had $200. I was playing a few cover gigs, and so I got a job working at Blockbuster. Blockbuster used to sell records, not Blockbuster video rentals, Blockbuster Music. And my job was, I had two things I did there. I worked in the classical room, and I worked opening CDs for people. So I would open CDs and close them back up. And I worked with a blue shirt. This is after I was a college professor, after I wrote my Beato book, everything. I was working for minimum wage, making whatever, $5 an hour. And it was 1994, the end of 894. And he would come in every Tuesday. And he would buy every record that came out. And I talked to him in the class when I was in the classical music room. He just came in by himself, and he'd leave with bags full of CDs. And it was fascinating. I mean, he was really into. He bought anything. He was just a huge consumer of music. Extremely knowledgeable about every genre of music. Getting back to when I met them, though, so he talked about his process, going back to, the beginning. He said that Bernie would finish the lyrics. I mean, Bernie's right there. I'm talking to both of them with the band there, and the guys in his band were out in the live room just hanging out. And he said that Bernie would finish a lyric, Elton would take it, put it on the piano, and then improvise, and they'd run the tape. And Elton would take about 15 minutes and write the music to their... Thank you, Turtle Cubed. Is that how you say that? Blue Oyster Cult Astronomy. Worked at Blockbuster 2, Sound Warehouse before that. Man. Bribing me for Blue Oyster Cult. I will do Blue Oyster Cult. Sound Warehouse, man. Ouch. So, he... he said that he would improvise. He'd go back, listen to the stuff. He'd work it out. Then the band would rehearse it. Then they'd finish the song. He'd teach it to the guys right there. They come up with their parts. So he then said that it would take 2 weeks to make a record. They tour for 6 months, and then they do another record 6 months later, and tour again for 6 months and make another record. And Bernie was just shaking his head. Yep, that's how we did it. He said, we never thought about it. We're always in the studio, always writing. And we toured. And that was it. All improvised. He would improvise to Bernie's lyrics. Bernie would never change anything. I asked him all this stuff. I mean, we talked to Elton for probably an hour and a half or so. It was great. And then Elton said, do you want to hear a song that we're working on? I said, sure. So I sat at the desk at the SSL console right next to Elton and played the song full blast. It was wow. But I kept thinking to myself, I'm listening to the song, I'm thinking, okay, this is Elton John right here. Now, I'm not one to be impressed by things like that, but come on, it's Elton John, right? And he's listening to the music, and I was thinking, John, he was friends with John Lennon. He was friends with the Beatles. It's Elton John. He's one of the biggest, most important songwriters of all time, period. Incredible work ethic. So he was there for a month making this record. Every day he showed up at 10:30 at the studio, 10 or 10:30. 10:30. He drove in every single day. Never was late. He was at the Grammys in L.A., flew back to Atlanta, went to his place, and then was back at the studio at 10 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't believe it because they had stuff on. They were talking about the Grammys and Elton, and then I'm seeing Elton get out of his car because my room was on the second floor when I was doing overdubs. So I worked downstairs. I worked downstairs in the studio to track drums, and I had a room and an ISO booth where I did all my overdubs and vocals and everything. So, Peter, I see your thing on Les Claypool. We'll work on that. But yeah, his work ethic was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Every day in at the same time. So cool. Okay. Let's see here. Have I ever worked with Devin Townsend? No, I've not. Paul, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. That's a great song. That's one I might pick. There's so many great songs that he has. But will I ever make any videos on Wagner? You know, I was going to go... you saw the ring cycle. I was actually gonna do something on Wagner. I had to cancel my trip. Do you guys remember when I was in Italy? I had gotten invited to. I got invited to this thing at what's it called? At Thomann Music. It's called Gearhead University. Adam Neely, Paul Davids, Mary Spender, all the Pete Thorne all did it this year. So thank you, Phil. I got invited to it, but I couldn't do it because that was when I did my trip to interview Frank Gambale and Larry Carlton. So I couldn't do it, but I was going to when I first talked to the guys about it from Thomann back at GitCon last year in November. We talked about they were going to take me to some where Thomann is near why am I drawing a blank? Was it Bayreuth? The where Wagner lived. And they were going to we were going to go do that when I came over that time. They wanted me to come by, and I was going to come over for a couple days beforehand and do a video. I was going to shoot video on Beethoven and Wagner. So, and I never got my custom Warwick bass, Jason, that you asked. I thought about that today. I actually thought about that today. I saw a Warwick bass in the music store that I went to. And I thought about that I didn't get did not get a bass made. Do I surf reverb, IBJ? I do surf reverb. I was surfing reverb earlier today. I've been looking for some pieces of gear. I have a broken knob on one of my amps that I was looking for the knob. And I haven't found it. But anyhow, I'm looking for a couple specific things. So yeah. So I do surf reverb. What did you ask here? Is the cracked guitar fixed? It is not fixed yet. Dave came by. He's going to fix it the next time he comes by. And hold on here. Billy Strings. I know who Billy Strings is. I'm not familiar with his music, Phil. He's from Michigan, guitar player, like bluegrass guitar player. I know that. Brian May is a blocker. That's why I haven't done Queen, honestly. Okay, so this is interesting. How do all the reaction channels still have Queen content up? Okay, I've talked to people at different big labels that work in the offices that do the blocking. And the reason that these reaction videos stay up is that they've told me is that they are culturally relevant. because of who's making them, and they're reacting to videos of music that is, not that's the way they explained it to me, of music that is not part of their culture. If it's a hip hop artist or something like that, and they're listening to rock for the first time. What's up, Ron? 1969 ES 175. There you go. 1959 should be. Just kidding. What sets me apart from the competition is that I'm a nice person. Don't ask my kids that. We Jason sounds like BS. No, that's really what they told me. They said that they don't touch those. They do not touch those. Education is not culturally relevant. Well, if a hip hop artist is reacting to something that they've never heard, that's what some of these reaction videos are that they. I mean, I don't know specific reaction videos you're talking about. This is something that a person from one of the big copyright offices told me that they're just some things that are just off limits that they don't block. I don't know what Watch Mojo is. I have no idea what that is. So, I have no idea what that is. Hell, education is not culture relevant, but silly clickbait is. Helium Road, that's, yeah. Just like people asking me, what do I think of the new copyright thing? What do I think? How they're not going to penalize people for using a couple seconds of music. Well, I tested that because Radiohead demonetized my video for the keyboard video for the 5 seconds that Les played of Everything in Its Right Place. So for 5 seconds of not even the actual sound recording, I got demonetized. Radiohead, I'm disgusted, I have to say. So not cool. I don't know what their deal is now. They're just like every other corporate band. They must be broke or something. It's totally so uncool. I mean, come on, guys. Give me a break. Resistance is futile. They are the Borg. You're better off not knowing it, right? It's supposed to be 7 seconds. No, there is no time. Watch Mojo is a channel I should watch. They play copywritten material. Watch Mojo. Let's see here. Watch Mojo. Hold on. Okay. 21 million subscribers. What is it? Anime stuff? What is this here? I don't even know what this is. Ten Worst Changes remakes. 10 celebs you won't believe are the same age. Is this pretty clickbaity? Oh, this is total clickbait. This is a total clickbait site here. Why should I watch this? Oh, man. Come on, Phil. You think I should watch this? You don't have a very high opinion of me. The top 10 biggest movie flops so far of 2019. They don't even wait till the year's over, and they make the video. Good thumbnails. Top 10 animals that survived what dinosaurs couldn't. Of course, I would click on that. So, Top 20 supervillains of all time. Look at I shouldn't talk. I do my top 20 videos too. Okay, so Phil, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna take your advice on that and look at it. You won't believe number 2, Clayton. There you go. Maurice, is that true? They release 5 videos a day. Not top 10 stuff in music. I have the highest opinion of you. I know you do, Phil. I appreciate that. I'm joking. No, I love clickbait videos like that. Just like everyone else. Come on, right? Just like everyone else. Why do jazz videos suck? Okay, I don't think they do, Barklord. Barklord, I haven't seen you on here in a long time, or just have I just not noticed? I think jazz videos are just poorly made. They're just poorly made. Can I do a video about Giant Steps, the whole album? I've done so many Giant Steps videos, and they get no views. And I just finally said, I'm not going to do any more Giant Steps videos. No, John Coltrane's family they're demonetizers too. Not that everything has to be monetized, but when you're not playing the actual song and you're talking about improvising over a chord progression or something, they shouldn't demonetize your videos. It's outrageous. It's totally outrageous. So I'm going to test the waters with Queen. And I'll tell you, I'm going to do exactly what this guy in the Instagram video said. I'm going to Dennis, what's up? I'm going to do a version of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm going to play the solo, or maybe do a maybe do the solo to We Are the Champions, something like that. Any mores. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You're Dennis. You're all right in my book. Awesome. You want to see your moniker up. So I was going to play a guitar solo and tag it and see if Brian May writes to me. And if he does, then I'm going to, I don't know, I'll make a video about it or something, or then I'll respond to him. But he's very active on social media, so we'll see what happens. Maybe we could have a breakthrough there. That's, so the Beatles are strict with blocking, but they're not strict with blocking covers. Paul McCartney has made a fortune with covers. Okay? Paul McCartney, realized the value of music publishing. So that's why they don't block covers of their songs. Which totally makes sense. But bands like AC/DC block covers of their songs. Bands like Fleetwood Mac, whoever, or the Eagles, whatever, Queen. How about West Montgomery? I've made many videos on West Montgomery. Okay, I'm done right now. I've gone almost an hour. You guys are the best. Had the record number of people on here. This is amazing. This is really amazing. You guys are awesome. Okay, well, I'll be back on. I won't go so long before I come back. Okay, see you.